Hello, hi, and we're back to I Choose Me. I'm here today with Jenoir Lynne, our beauty expert and business entrepreneur. I'm so happy to be able to have the chance to get a moment of her time to interview her on what it is like to be a successful female entrepreneur in the beauty business and juggling her family and career life.
Yeah.
Please tell us about yourself, a little bit more about yourself, Jenoir.
Okay. So I am a licensed esthetician. I'm originally from Baltimore, but I now reside in Atlanta. I've been here for about 7 years. And I started my beauty business about 6 years ago. And how it kind of started was I started with the mink lash extensions. I got certified in that. And then once I started to build my clientele, they were asking me about different things. And, since I had my license, it was okay for me to add other things. So it just kind of snowballed from there. So now I do lash extensions, microblading, also body contouring. It's non-surgical stuff, as well as injectionless lip fillers. So I do a little bit of everything, kind of like a one-stop beauty shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So.
amazing. Yes,
Mhm.
please take us on a timeline because I remember when you first started doing it. And I don't know if that was, am I saying it right? The Bonner Brothers show? Was that your first one years ago?
So that wasn't when I first started my business, but I did do my first Bronner Brothers show. I think was in 2020. What was that? Because this is 2021. I think it was maybe 2017 when I did my first one.
Okay.
So yeah, I think at that point I had been in business for about 2 years before I did my first Bronner Brothers, which is a big thing. That was a big thing for me. That first one, honestly, me and my team, we talk about that all the time, how that was like the best one. Because I've done a couple after. They didn't do it last year, of course, or this year. Not in person, but that was the best one. Yeah.
I just remember that smile, and I remember like the way that the decor was. Like I loved it. It was just beautiful,
Yeah.
flashes, and I was like, "Oh, that's really spicy. Like that's really cute." So when you came up with the idea, so you're there and you're thinking, because I know you started this when you moved to Atlanta, right? You started this.
Yeah, about a year, not a whole, it was a little less than a year when I started after I had moved to Atlanta. Yeah.
So what made you want to, we already know, you the beauty expert. We already know you like to flash and shine, of course. But what made you want to go into that business?
Um, you know what? Honestly, years ago, before I even moved here, I had saw a episode of The Housewives of Atlanta. And they were talking about mink lash extensions. And at the time, I had no idea what that was. So like it intrigued me for some reason. I don't know. It was literally, it wasn't even like a whole clip about it. Like somebody said it. And I was like, oh, what's that? Didn't pay any mind then, but like once I got here, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was like, let me look into that. And I researched it and I found, looked at a couple different classes and I found one that I wanted to take, and that's how it started.
So how did you go from being an employee, doing it as, as a person, a single person, and then making it into an actual business where you're recruiting people and training them on how to do their lashes?
Yeah, it's funny because when I first started, I was working in a salon. Somebody else had a salon and I was just kind of renting. Well, I wouldn't even say I was renting the room from her right away because it was kind of like a commission thing. She just had like an extra room and, I'm like, look, you got the room, I need the space, that type of thing. And we did commission. I think I was there with her for maybe about 9 months before I was like comfortable enough to, have my own space and move into my own place. But that's kind of how that started as far as like me being under someone. I always knew that I wanted to have my own business, but it was like I just kind of needed a starting place. So that was the goal from the jump, was like I knew that it would be its own thing, but I just had to start somewhere.
So once you finish, working with her, you worked with her for about 9 months, she said, and then you went, maybe got your own suite. Did it start out like that? And then you started training?
Yes. So yes, at that time, it was actually, I used to be married. So at the time there was a salon that we had, and there was like a that we had just gotten, and there was a suite there, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this here. It was kind of ducked off from its own, and I decided to do it there. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. I think
Yeah.
it's always amazing to see how someone starts their plan and how it blossoms into like this amazing flower. Did you think that your business would become this popular when you first started?
You know what, Tanya, it's funny. I did not. Like, I knew that I wanted to do it. I knew that I wanted it to be big, but can I honestly say that I believe that I would have accomplished what I have now then? No.
In this amount of time too. And
Yeah.
how much time do you think it's been when you really think about when the success really hit from when you started?
I would say like a year and a half to 2 years, like that mark,
Mm-hmm.
things changed like drastically, like from what I was making and grossing in like that first year and a half, like that had tripled. And then like the next year it had quadrupled, like it just kept growing and growing, like it was crazy. So
Wow.
yeah.
You had any endeavors to maybe branch out and have some more? Because I haven't gotten to go. I can't wait. Okay, let me say for the birthday party. I can't wait. Then I can get to check some things out and get some treatments. You know what I mean? I want to get all tucked up and everything. You know,
girl.
But do you think of having, you know, where you're located now, like having several? It seems like something where you could have several of these locations of what you're doing. And how is that operating? Like I was watching some of the videos you had and all the equipment, and a lot of it looks very expensive that you have to have to even, you know, operate, you know, as well.
Yeah, I mean, but it pays for itself, honestly. So I think for me, before COVID happened, I was definitely like in expansion mode. That was actually one of my goals, to have a separate location, or either to have a larger location where I would just have like more space, because I do classes too, where I would have more space for my classes, and, you know, have other people in there with me. The space that I have now, I have a classroom. There's an upstairs and a downstairs, and I have a classroom, and I have an extra like room that I rent out. I have another tech that works with me now, but it's just like on a smaller scale. So that was actually my goal before COVID hit. And right now, what I'm kind of trying to do is just make sure that, you know, because it's still kind of shaky with COVID. I'm just trying to see how it's looking. So
I was going to ask you that. How was that for you when you found out, you know,
my gosh,
COVID was about to shut everything down? Like, what happened? How did you feel?
I was really nervous at first. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna make money right now? But the crazy thing about it is that my business actually did like record numbers during COVID. Like I had done better than I had ever done.
I've heard of that too. I've heard that everybody was like, it actually worked out for the best. You know what I mean? I've heard that a lot.
It did. And I think for me, especially because I have my classes and I have online classes and stuff. I'm sorry, I had a call coming in. Can you still see me?
Yes.
Okay. So I think because I have online classes and I have products and stuff that I sell online. That is really what kind of took off, because everybody was home. You know, people are realizing, oh, you know, I lost my job, or I may lose my job, and they're looking at other ways that they can make income. So they're looking at these beauty classes that I have, right? They can be their own boss. And then I also have lots of like different body products and stuff, because everybody was gaining a little weight in quarantine. So like I did some real record numbers in COVID. So it was good for me.
It's definitely, the beauty business is definitely your brand. What is your next steps? Like, how far do you plan on extending this?
Man, so it's good that you asked me that. I'm actually working with a publicist now. I'm so fancy. I have a publicist now. But I'm working with a publicist who is, you know, helping me to kind of take my brand to that next level. And really what I have in mind to do now is to, of course, expand. I still want to have either a second location, or either expand and have a larger location. But I'm also interested in expanding the training aspect of my business, because that's like if I had to choose one, like if they said you can only do one thing from your business for the rest of your life, it would be teaching.
Yeah.
Like I'm a natural nurturer. That's just my thing. My grandmother was a teacher. So it's just my thing. So I really want to expand more on that. And I'm praying. One of my goals is to actually have like a full-fledged aesthetic school. Because what I'm offering now is kind of like continued education classes, meaning like you kind of have to already have your esthetician or your cosmetology license to do this stuff. But I want to have an actual aesthetic school where you like, you're getting all those hours and I can, you can get a license through me, through the state and stuff. So that will be like one of my ultimate goals.
Well, it definitely looks like you're headed there.
Yes.
It's funny to me that you're about getting a publicist because you have been doing so well with your marketing.
I know. And she literally, Tanya, when I got with her, she was like, I mean, you're already doing everything that I'm telling people to do. You just have to kind of be more consistent with it. And it's crazy because like I have a bachelor's in business communications. So I was, I have schooling in marketing and all of that stuff. And at the time, like, I didn't really think that I would be applying it to what I'm doing now. But it actually worked out. And then I'm also just one of those people that's like really hands-on. So it's like, if I can look at somebody else and see that they did it, I'm gonna dissect it. I'm gonna see, okay, I see she's doing this at this time of day. And like I'm gonna break it down to a science and make it my own. So
I'm studying too, because with this book that I wrote, that I'm trying to get picked up and published, I'm up here pulling from everybody. And, and I remember you had, I don't know if it was a reel or a post where it was saying something about when you're marketing, you got to constantly be showing up. You got to constantly be on social media, plug in your brand. Tell us about that. Tell us about, for those people like myself who are new to this platform, sharing and marketing on social media, know, and we're trying to figure out how to do these different things on our phone, and we're trying to like, how do you even do this? You kind of want to get a taste for yourself of how to do it before you start throwing the money all around, for everything. So what would you tell us? What advice would you give us? What would you tell us to do?
You know what? Because I actually do. I do like business coaching. And for like some of my mentees, I literally tell them, like, if your social media doesn't feel like a part-time job, you're not doing it right. Like it is a whole job. Like literally I have like a planner. I know what I'm going to post on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. With my business social media, I have a theme for the week. With my personal, it's a daily thing. Like it's broken down to a science. And then I set aside certain days of the week where I just do content. It's like, okay, I'm going to do my hair. I'm going to do my makeup. I'm going to have 5 or 6 different outfits. And I'm gonna film some reels. I'm gonna take some pictures. I'm gonna make a little video, like whatever it may be. So it's like a little extra job. So did
your daughter help you with this, or you just were knowledgeable already on how to do it? Because I'm like, where did you did they teach you this in school? I'm like trying to figure it out.
I know, but you know what? My kids are not even like social media type of kids. Like they're rarely on there, which is funny. So this is all stuff I figured out on my own.
What somebody said, it's certain times of the day that you want to post. And have you ever felt when you were first starting out? I feel this, like sometimes I feel this way. Like if I don't get many views, or if I don't get any likes, like I'm like, are people even listening? Do they even like this? Kind of sometimes I go back and forth with being discouraged. How did you deal? Because I'm sure you don't have that problem now, but in the beginning, how did you deal with that? Or did you even ever feel that way? Have you ever?
Yes, of course. I mean, everybody starts somewhere. I definitely felt that way in the beginning. I think for me, it was just like, I was just focused on just doing it. And I think when you're consistent, like, and it's like a snowball effect. So it's like, you know, you may have just a couple people watching now, but you know, people talk and someone may say, hey, I saw Tanya's blog, you should check this out. And it just like snowballs from there. Just like in my business, you know, you get that one client. It's like, that's all you need is that one client. If you do a good job, she gonna tell somebody, they gonna talk about you, somebody else gonna see it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of like, it's just like that, but everybody starts somewhere.
Do you remember your first client?
You said what?
Do you remember your first client for last year?
I do.
You do? What was that like?
I was nervous as hell. And I did good. She liked it, but I was very scared. I was. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It was my very first time. Well, it wasn't my first time doing lashes on somebody because I had practice, but like my first paying client, I remember her. I remember her name. I remember her face.
How did you feel when she came in there? And like how did you just feel with that, trying to get the first customer? I know when I had my daycare that I talk about in my book, I Choose Me, it was like some days I was just sitting there, you know, I mean, me and December were there from the very early in the morning, 6 a.m. and we were there till the sunset, you know, and we were just thinking the doors were gonna flood with people were gonna run up in here like, oh, we know this is the best daycare. It got this so pretty, it got all this little cute stuff, and I don't put all my like I thought that was gonna be
happen like that for me either. They were not knocking down my door. No. It definitely took time. You know what? Instagram was a big, big part of me being seen. I figured out like how to work the hashtags and stuff. And that's really how I kind of got.
I remember when you were putting them up, I didn't even know what they were. And then I remember I had to ask you one time, I was like, what is a hashtag and how do I do it? I'm like, what does that even mean?
Right, like, what is that? No, but like even now, Tanya, with your blog, like when you're posting, you know, well, you may not know, but like with hashtags, it's basically a way for people who don't already follow you to be able to see you. So like, let's say you go to Instagram and you search braids.
Yeah,
you know,
that's all I know now, but you were the first one, honestly, that put me on.
Because everybody goes to Instagram. So, you know, I know, girl, it's crazy, but like everybody goes to Instagram to search for stuff. So that's why you need the hashtags. And Instagram will allow you to put up to 30 on a post.
Like I got a hashtag expert. So I got like the hashtag app. And it can.
Oh, yes.
That's a good strategy. Yes, I'm trying.
Girl,
I definitely love that.
Tanya.
I mean, you definitely could teach a marketing class. Let me tell you. And
I know.
And admiring, trying to figure out how it is that we can market our business better. So that's definitely another branch you can have under your brand. Looking at
I actually teach marketing in my courses. So like my lash course, my body course, I do like an excerpt on marketing. Like we spend some time talking about how they can market and that type of thing. But I don't have like a separate marketing course, but that might be something, you know.
No, that's another jewel drop. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I think, you know, what's so amazing too, is that looking as well and knowing you from, it's like the woman who has it all. And when I say woman who has it all, what I mean by that is saying the happiness that comes with that smile, to know it's genuine, to be successful, to be happy, to live their best life. And I just feel like you have been embracing that, and I can see it, and being in your present, I could feel it, you know. And I think anybody, especially as a leader and as someone teaching these classes, and you have people coming young, and I'm probably our age, as you know, as well, that they can sense it. They can sense it. That draws people in and makes people want to be a part of that. What advice, what can you tell us? How can we get that? How can we get that? Or is it possible for us as women to really have it all? Is that even possible?
You know what, Tanya? I think so. I think you can. I would say right now, I do have it all. And some people think of like having it all, you're married or you've got a man and all of that. Like, that's not even, not to say that I wouldn't ever want that again, but it's like, I genuinely do feel like I have it all right now, even without all of that. And it's because it's the inner thing, like the inner peace that I have. You know what I'm saying? It's like nothing compares to that. So I think the way that I got to this point was like, I really just got intentional about getting to know me, what I want, what I like, the things that my expectations for myself in life. Also just kind of, being intentional about my self-care, because that was something that I didn't do before. Like a couple years ago, I would say even like a year or two ago, I was not focused on, taking care of me. I was doing 10 other things and everybody else was before me. Yeah. And that spilled into everything that I did. I had lived my life like that for years. It was like I was just doing everything for everybody else. And it was like it was almost like, the way that I would think of it is like I was sacrificing myself or sacrificing my life for my family.
That's what I talked exactly about in my book. When I was talking about how as women, we grow up and we're told as young as our daughters that my daughter is 9, your daughter is, how old is she now? 6?
5.
5. Right.
Yeah.
And they're fed these stories about this fairy tale ending and being rescued and being saved. And then you get married. And then once you get married, you're secondary to your husband, and then you have children and you're secondary to the children. So everybody eats before you and you're last. And that's supposed to be something that you actually look forward to. And that's something that distinguishes you, especially in the Black community, amongst women, between those who are with someone and they have their families ready-made and those who are not, Yeah. So that is so important with sitting up here, understanding that having it all is a mindset thing. You know what I mean? Because you can have all of those things and still not be happy.
Girl, I was. So I know it looked like I had it all at one point, but I did not. I didn't have that inner peace. Yeah. So it's like, now that I have that and like my mind is where it is right now, it don't matter what's going on around me.
Yes.
I'm still gonna have this smile. And it's so crazy because everybody, like strangers, people that know me, like people inbox me all the time on Instagram, like, I've been following you for a couple of years and like, you're really glowing, like you're glowing up. And I'm like, thank you. I'm glad y'all can see, because that's how I feel, but
they make it like it's even more shine, they're saying.
Yeah. But it's crazy though that it just kind of radiates. But I mean, it's, that's how I genuinely feel. That's how I genuinely, I'm happy. I have not been this, I don't know when I've ever been this happy. So it shows.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I feel the same way. When you begin to live your life for you as if you matter just as much as those other people matter, Yeah. And don't be and not apologetic for it. Being a woman and embracing your femininity and being sexy and being, being feminine, just in your own right, meaning that you can control a boardroom, and then you can, still want a love and affection and respect at the same time. I think with calling myself a feminist, sometimes people get confused about what that even means. Like if it's a male bashing thing, if it's, what does that mean? Or you can't wear this type of clothes, or a feminist looks like this. Or you can't dress up and want to wear makeup or put, sexy clothes on. Feminists don't do that. It's about a great equal rights for women, and being able to have a choice in what you want to do. I know you yourself, you're definitely, you're going out, you're giving it your all. One day I'm in here looking like a school teacher, and the next thing I'm out there looking like a sex kitten.
Look, I know how to turn it on and off as well, and that's okay, because being that feminism is different. It's unique to every woman. You know what I mean? Like what that means to me may be different to you or somebody else. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
What about, well, I know when I was living in in a community, small town, and a lot of the mothers, they had the babies and we let ourselves go and we make an excuse. We're like, okay, well, the children are getting old. I don't have time to get my eyebrows arched. I mean, I remember I had a unibrow. I had, I'm getting whiskers coming out my chin. I'm just like I'm a mom. And then that's all my posts when I go back in time on Facebook, all of them is like, oh, what you cooking tonight?
Girl.
About it was not like I had no other life except for being a mom.
Yeah.
How important is that for you to be able to handle and juggle both of those worlds, the mother world and the woman world? How important?
It's hard. And I went through that phase too. I think especially when our kids are babies, we have to be so hands-on with them that it just kind of engulfs us. I don't really think there's a way to really get around that, unless you have a full-time nanny, you know what I'm saying? And you just doing all this other stuff. But I don't think there's really any way to do that. And I think that we all kind of lose ourselves. And, right after we have that baby, for some women, it takes a couple months. Some women, it takes a couple years, to feel like you're feeling yourself again. And that's okay. Because, everybody's going to go at their own pace. But it's definitely important to have that separate, you know what I mean? I don't want to say a separate life where I'm leading a double life, but it's you need that mom time. You need to feel sexy. You need to feel confident. You know what I mean? You need to have some interests of your own and some things that appeal to just you and what you want. Because those kids are going to grow up. They're going to go have their own lives. They're going to go be in relationships and be married and all this other stuff. And what you going to do?
I had to tell people that because I got married at 23 years old. So when I almost feel like I'm back at the 20s, you know what I mean? After my divorce, after my separation, whatever, I'm reliving these memories and reclaiming the Tanya that I know exists. Because I felt like I was just living in a lie so much, you know what I mean? And I had lost a sense of myself. And have you ever had an experience where you felt like you didn't recognize yourself anymore?
Oh my God.
It's like now you
see yourself. Especially those times right after I had my kids. Even some points in my old marriage where it was just I don't even know who I am anymore. Who is this person? There were times where it was hard to look in the mirror at myself, and that's deep. I don't even recognize myself.
Oh, I definitely know that mirror. That mirror be staring back at you,
girl. And it's the emotion now and make light of it, but those were some really hard times for me. So but I came out of it. I survived. And once I decided to choose me, like Tanya told y'all to do. But no, once I decided to do that, it was just it was a snowball effect for me. So it just all kind of fell into place. Yeah.
How are you with after the divorce and everything? How are you juggling with the kids and your business? How are you able to maneuver in those two worlds, and how are you holding up with everything?
It's been really good. It's been smooth for me now. What I did once the kids got back to school, because I've been separated since last year, but officially divorced since the early summer. So what I decided to do, once the kids went back to school this summer, was to kind of limit my hours to where I have certain days that I'm going into the office, and then I have certain days that I'm just kind of home, so I can be there to get them from the bus and do dinner and that type of thing. So it's a blessing that I am an entrepreneur and I have that luxury where I can kind of move things around. Shout out to you and the other moms that y'all punching a clock, because I don't know how I would do it. Girl, Instacart is my best friend. It's I think about how moms did it before all the technology and conveniences that we have now. I don't know if I could have done it then. I'm doing it now, but I don't know if I could have done it then, because anything that I can make it easier, I'm taking advantage of it.
Yes, definitely. It is. I can't even imagine. And I really like when you were talking about one day on one of your stories, you were saying something about how you were making money and you were virtual. You were like doing the classes virtual. So it's like you can go, you were one picture you had up there, you're like basically at the office and you're like relaxing and chilling and drinking wine and you're like, I'm at work. Look, check me out.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Yes.
Definitely
Totally.
are handling that well.
Yes.
Yes, handling that well is being a mamapreneur or whatever. What's the advice that you can give give all of us out here without marketing is so forth.
Yeah.
So you said your next step is you're thinking about extending your brand, doing some more schools and so forth like that. Definitely, I think you said something about how you have, is it the makeup or the beauty? You said you do was it what was it? It was body contouring cream. Do you think about doing makeup and so forth like that? And
I don't want to do the makeup just because that's just not my thing. I love makeup, but I don't really have a passion for it. I don't know if I would really be any good at it. But all the things that I have now that kind of relate to the face, which is like some of the body stuff I do for the face, and then I have the lip stuff. That's probably as far as I'm gonna go with the face stuff. Yeah.
What are your children?
I wouldn't mind, like, once I had another face, I would like bring on a makeup artist, but me personally doing it, I don't really see me doing it. Cause like I can do like a real basic beat for myself. I don't like, girl, I see some of these videos where they like taking an hour to do, like, I need 15 minutes and I'm good.
I'm talking about like having your own lipstick brand, having your own makeup brand. Like that's when I'm looking like that would be that would definitely be a great extension, under it. That was what I was thinking when I was saying.
Okay, I'm not opposed to that, but I don't know. That's not really something that I've thought about. I had like some cosmetic like glitters that I used to do that I would have like for the Bronner Brothers show, and we would like put them on lips and do like eyeshadows and stuff with them, which was kind of like a thing there at the show. But I don't know, Tanya, maybe.
Maybe. How are your daughters? Like, how do they feel to have a mom that is just special and amazing? Like, how do they process that?
You know what? My oldest could care less about the makeup, beauty. Like she just does not. Like, I'm like, Jay, you want to come and work with me? Summertime. She's so disinterested in it. My baby though, I can see her. She's gonna be like by my side. Like that's gonna be the one that I'm like handing Minx over to. Because she's already into like makeup and hair and getting dressed up and all of that stuff. So I can totally see her.
I saw she had her own makeup tutorial.
Girl. Now we may have a little line for her.
That would be cute. That would be cute. Yeah. To extend. Now, are you doing anything extra in the community as far as with your product line with Meets Beauty and so forth in the area of Atlanta?
I mentor. Yep, I do. I mentor, and that's another thing that I want to kind of expand on to for next year. So right now, what I'm doing, the end of 2021. It starts to slow down for me around the holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, which I love because like it's the holidays. Who doesn't want to work on the holidays? And also it just kind of gives me time to plan and gives me time to get ready for the next year. So that's exactly what I've been doing. And one of the things that I want to focus more on will be like some more community events and stuff. But it's been kind of hard, with COVID. So I'm still just, I'm hoping we all the way back open, like something changes where that can be possible.
Yes, me too. I hope it gets to the point where we can stay out in the streets.
I know. But I really want to work with, young girls, because I think that it's important for them to, when I think about like, when I was in my 20s, like, I got married really young, and just like all of the things that I didn't know then, you know, and nobody was really telling me. And, you know, from being from Baltimore, it's just like things that are culturally acceptable to us that it's like, that's really not a good thing. But, you know, you are kind of groomed to thinking that it is, because these are all the examples that you see. Nobody's telling you any different. So it's like, it's really, I think, and then I know everything always happens for a reason and happens the way that it should. But it's like, I think about like, how would my life have been different if I knew what I know now, or somebody had said something to me to even like set that light bulb off. It was like I was completely clueless, you know what I mean, to some pretty common sense things that I should have known that would have kept me from a lot of stress and, you know, mistakes that I've made. So that's very, I'm very passionate about that. So I would like to help other young girls to just kind of, you know, knowing their worth and knowing about setting boundaries, and you know what I mean? Like,
that's what my daycare that I talked about in the book was about. I wanted to create a platform for young girls, a place where I wanted to give them something I felt like I didn't have. And I felt like it made me make the wrong decisions, you know? And when I was in that relationship, you know, I talk about it in my book that December was part of the reason why I left. You know, I didn't want her to see me in that predicament, and I didn't never want to see her in that predicament. So I had to make a decision. And once I was out for a year, I taught for a year, and then my father had passed, and he left me some money, and I took all of it and I invested it in that preschool. And I literally thought God was sending me a message telling me, this is what you're supposed to do. But then, you know, the year wasn't even complete, and it was like, I'm not getting any customers. And I was trying, I was on there, you know, doing the best that I can do. We were putting up flyers. We were, you know, I was making December a walking flyer and a walking billboard for the company. It was my number. She wore a Supergirl cape, you know, because it was so beautiful, you know. And it's hard when you have a vision of something that you want to do and it doesn't come to fruition, you know. What were you, when you were a young girl and you were maybe just coming out of high school, but what did you want to do? What was your plans for the future? Because did you see yourself from at a young age that you were like, I'm going to be a female entrepreneur, I'm going to own my own business, I'm going to be doing this and that?
You know, I did not see, okay, this was my thing. I knew I didn't want to work for anybody. Right. At that time, I don't think I had I knew what an entrepreneur was, but it just wasn't something that you always would see like a woman doing and being successful at. Right. So, especially a Black woman. So it's like I knew that I wanted to work for myself, and I wouldn't be happy like just sitting at a desk every day. But I don't know if I really knew how to like channel that or like where that would actually go. Once I got done with high school, I wanted to go into broadcasting, and I actually did that for a while.
I know.
I did that for a while. You said you remember?
I remember, yes. I saw that. I thought that was so cool because it was, I thought back and forth between science and journalism and broadcasting. I remember in elementary school, we did like some little activity and we had to pretend like we were broadcasters. So I looked at that too. So I thought that was amazing.
You know, I've always kind of, even as a kid, I just always loved to be in front of the camera. I was never like shy or anything. So I knew that would kind of play a part. Didn't quite know it would be like this, where I am, you know, I am still in front of the masses, you know, whether it's social media or if I'm doing a class or whatever. But I just kind of knew that was going to be in my future somehow. Did I know it would be this business? Absolutely not. I had no clue.
Well, it's obvious that you have become a success. You are a success. And I can continue to see how you're just blossoming out there. Is there anything you want to tell mothers or you want to tell new entrepreneurs who are going, taking their first steps out here and trying to start their business? Some advice you would give them about marketing, or some advice you would give to the single mother or the mother that's just trying to juggle both worlds? What advice would you give them?
I would definitely say, first off, be consistent. That is like the number one thing. A lot of people quit, like how we talked about, oh, only 2 people watched this or only 1 person liked it, right? That's what a lot of people quit. It's like sometimes we have those unrealistic expectations. And I say unrealistic because there's very few people that just like bust out and it's popping from the jump.
Right.
Most people, it's going to take you a year. Some people, it takes years, or it may take months for others. But it's very rare that somebody just pops out and they're popping unless they have somebody endorsing them, like a celebrity or something, right? So a lot of people, they quit before they even really give it a chance because we're thinking, oh, it should pop by this certain time. I don't think you should give yourself an expectation. I think that, not an expectation, but I don't think you should put like hard pressed expectations on it. Kind of see where it goes, be consistent. Right? Because if you keep doing it, like somebody's gonna see you, somebody's gonna notice you. If you've got something that's good, somebody's gonna catch on to it eventually. So be consistent. And then for my mamas, get organized. Because at first, like when I first got divorced, it was like I was all over the place. Like I didn't know, like, oh, I got to do this and I got to do that. And it, it was a lot. You go from having a 2-person team to now it's like just you and these kids, right? And it's like still running a whole household. I'm still running a whole business, right? And then I have to be mommy and do all this other stuff. So it's very important to get organized. And like I have a planner. I live by this thing. It's literally right here next to me right now. But like, even if I'm old school, so I like the planner, but even if you kind of have things in your phone and your notes or on that calendar in there, it really does make a difference and kind of helps to keep you on task and keep you on track with getting things done. And then one more thing I would say is to set goals for your business. I tell my mentees all the time, even if you don't necessarily make the goal, that you're going to be doing some things that are leading you toward that. And it's like, I may not have quite gotten it this time, but I'm going to be consistent and I'll do it next time. So that's kind of a way of, leveling up with your business. Cause it's like, even where I am now, I want more, it's not the end for me. So it's like, if I just got comfortable, cause you see people that do that, they'll be like, oh, I'm making X amount of money and I got the house that I want, I got the car that I want, and I'm good with that. It's like, I want more. So
when you're juggling it, because I always have an image sometimes of success is always like you're in here with like all this luggage on your back and you're like huffing and puffing and you're sweating in your brow, like you're doing all of this stuff and you're looking like a breath of fresh air. Like it's nothing to me,
girl.
Like
look, let me tell you something. That's because y'all see me on social media. Come pull up on me on a regular Tuesday night, okay? I'm not going to be this cute. I'm going to have something real comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I could be running around doing 10 different things. So like I live a real life just like everybody else. But I make sure my social media, what I'm putting out there is looking real cute. And then I also have those times where I share, some very intimate and, some downfalls or some trials. I share that with my audience too.
You have been more transparent. And I think it really could help a lot of people. And I think it really always is a beautiful thing to see 2 sides of a coin. You know what I mean? Even with celebrities, when we see celebrities share things on social media, because it makes them relatable and it makes you say to yourself, oh, wow, if someone's admiring you or they're like, and they see that some things that you have, like you've been through the same thing, it makes them love you even more.
Yeah, it does. Because it's relatable. It's relatable. And people tell me that all the time, like, oh my God, your post today, it helped me so much. Or I really needed to hear that. Thank you. I was going through the same thing. Or, thank you for showing us that, you're human too, that type of thing. So it's important.
The one you put up today with the red flags.
You said what?
I said the one you put up with the red flags, it felt so good to me, right? Because of the fact that I feel like I get pressure or I get called a man eater or whatever because I'm quick to shut it down. You know what I mean? And I have ex relationships where they're like, oh, you like, they almost try to use the healing against me and tell me, oh, you're not healed because you're trying to bring in the old baggage with me. And I'm like, no, I'm recognizing and I see now the red flags. Back then I was younger, you know? Yeah. And now I'm seeing these other relationships. I'm like, oh, this is a red flag. Oh, okay. I might give you a chance or two to work it out to see if you're willing to work it out. If you want to go there, but if not, if I get that result or I feel that from you, then it's like, okay, I can't have any time with you.
And that's okay. And that is 100% okay. I think especially when you have been married, which, girl, that's a whole other show. You're gonna have to bring me back to that. But when you have been married and you're dating, it's like your tolerance level is like,
it's so
like I've been there and I've done that. You know what I'm saying? Especially things that you may have gone through with your ex-husband. Like, you think that I walked away from a whole marriage? You think I'm not going to keep you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
they will use that as an excuse.
It's real
easy. With it. They'll be like, oh, with it with him? Like, what's the problem? That means I don't like, he's gone. I don't want to do it ever. Ever.
Super easy after you done walked away from a marriage. Like, come on.
It's scary though, trying to date. I almost have taken a break because it's just like, I love being in control of my emotions. I just love nobody having access to mess with them and to, you know, and that up and down. It's like, I'm just enjoying myself, having fun. Yeah. And going out with the girlfriends, like, you know, I just interviewed Keisha and we talked a little bit about our trip to Cabo and the fact that you are the one who invited both of us out. And what made you even come up with that? You know what? You even come up with that idea?
It's so crazy because Journey, baby, hold on 1 second, okay? We got to be quiet for mommy. Girl, she over here playing with these dolls and singing. So it's so crazy because literally, like, I feel like I'm one of those people, like, when people are connected to me in my life, it's like I'm divinely connected to them, if that makes sense. So it's like something will just like pop into my head and it's like I don't even realize it at the time, but it's like after it happens, it's like, you know, like my birthday, girl.
Yes. I can't wait.
Like, we gonna have fun, but you know, it's gonna be a whole other therapy session again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's okay. But yeah, so it was just like literally, I think I had saw that you were in Belize. I was actually on vacation myself when I saw you posting that you were on vacation. And I'm like, oh my God, we need to get together. And that's literally how it happens.
Yes, and I told you how rejuvenating it is to travel alone. I had used that time to write the last chapter of my book, and I started my book from the trip I took by myself in Tobago. I met a wonderful woman, Siobhan of Lord, I wrote her Siobhan Touch Massage in Tobago in my book. I wrote the actual name. I can't think of it right now, but I'll put it in the to plug her. But she had a little story. She had a book she had wrote about her daughter, just like I wrote about my sons when they were little. And I was like, I want to write something. I came here and I want to write. I think I want to do a research article with my students, or, you know, or something. I'm thinking maybe I might write a book about myself. And she was sharing all this beautiful stuff with me about stories about herself. And I made, once I left there, I said, I'm going to write a book about my life, you know? Yeah. And I did that afterwards and so forth. So those trips, girl, they are powerful and divine, like the word, it was divine intervention. I believe that the Lord put us together to go on that trip, you know?
It was. And who knew? Because we had not hung in so long.
Yes.
And I think we all were just kind of like I said it, and then like after I said it, I was like, wait, are we gonna be comfortable? Like, are we gonna like, is it gonna flow? I think we all were kind of thinking that, right? So
I told Keisha, and I told her, I was worried that I couldn't keep up with y'all because because of my anxiety, and I told her my driving and my fear of things. And I was like, I was so worried that y'all might want to go jet skiing or y'all might want to go do this. And I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Like, I didn't want to be that person that's like preventing everybody from having all this major fun. You know what I mean? Like when I travel by myself. You know, you travel, you just pick up, oh, I don't have to ask nobody. I don't have to wait around. I have to do this. But everything just gelled so perfectly.
It did.
Yes.
Even with that whole drama that we had with my home stuff that was happening, you know, it was still like, and like even in that moment, the way that you guys just supported me, like it was just like everything, like it was like a waiting to exhale too.
It was. I need to write a story about that, right? I need to put that in. Oh yeah, girl, that's one of my scripts. That's my next thing is to write a script. Yes. I have 2 ideas, so that'll be one of them.
Girl, like that was you couldn't make that up. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just
It was just such a, I don't think people understand. It was just such like, even just reminiscent, I feel warm. It was just, you know, and I was worried and I was telling Keisha, like sometimes, you know, because she was talking about being an introvert. And I said, sometimes I feel like I go in between both. And I was like, I just felt comfortable and safe with you guys, with you ladies, not being having, and Keisha felt the same way because she was a little worried too. But because I never really did a girls trip like that before. But it's just like we just supported one another and was there for one another. And, you know, y'all definitely supported me when I was walking that aisle, you know, being the Baywatch babe that I am. But that was so much love. Like I felt, oh my God, y'all don't know how much that meant to me. I just felt so supported, you know, from me twerking and everything. That
that day.
Let loose. Your boy, right? You lost your boy.
Girl, I gave myself a headache. I was screaming so hard. I was like,
well, guess what? I am going to come too, because I'm literally coming because of December's recital. So I was going to be there for 3 days for your birthday, but I'm literally going to have to come in the morning and then spend the night and leave the next to go to her thing. So for my birthday, I'm going to come to Atlanta and I'm going to try to get the whole weekend. So I'm going to spend my day there. But you know, I like to go, you know where I like to go? I like to go where the people hang from ropes, you know, the men hang from ropes and stuff. So I know they probably got a new cute little jungle out there in ATL where they probably got a restaurant. One of the housewives' husbands that made a restaurant with men hanging from vines. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to claim them. I'm just trying to swing with them for a couple.
I one for you.
Yes, that could be a branch too, you know.
Oh my gosh.
So ceremonies. Well, I want to thank you so much, Jenoir, for giving me some time out of your busy life. I want to recap a little bit. Jenoir, we know she got her bachelor's in communications. This young lady is amazing. She is balancing being a mother, and she's balancing being a beauty expert and a business mogul. She's telling our audience that if you want your business to work, you have to market, you have to plan, you have to prepare, you have to write down, you have to be strategic on the times that you're advertising, how often you're advertising, what you're plugging in your brand. She also told us that, you know, it doesn't happen overnight and that you have to be consistent. I'm literally writing this down in my brain, taking mental notes for my own self. But you have to be consistent in order for it to work. And there's no such thing as immediate success. So for those of you who are interested in starting your own business, especially if you want to go into the lash business, mink lashes, Jenoir Lynne is here to help you and assist you to get you where you need to be and for your business to grow. Her business is growing. She's up here doing the body contouring, and I think maybe I put it out there. Maybe she might be doing her own makeup line. Who knows? You know, maybe she might go. So maybe I drop it and God, because the Lord literally put that in my thoughts. So there you go. God just be dropping things on me, so you never know. Okay.
But God said, listen.
Yeah, so you gotta listen, because I can see it, girl, because I be having visions. You know what I'm saying? I envision things.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
But I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for everything and for the time, for your schedule, sharing your self-tell journey. Thank you so much for sharing.
Girl, still back there humbling and doing everything. But thank you for having me. This is the real life mompreneur. So,
Yes. And you can hold on too from where I'm about to close out, so don't hang up. But I thank you for tuning in to I Choose Me, everyone. And I want you to choose yourself. And remember, you are not just a mom. You are a sex kitten too.
Period.